All right, here we go. Bobby Maximus live. Now, today I am going to talk to you about the power of discipline. I've trained all kinds of people from all over the world. And the most important thing that you can have in your life, whether you want to be more fit, whether you want to have a better job, or whether you want a better relationship, discipline is the ticket to make all of that happen. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the power of discipline. People talk about motivation, but motivation is fleeting. I'm 45 years old. I've worked out 2 to 3 times a day since I was 15. A little bit about my background. When I was a kid, I was bullied heavily. I wasn't picked for any of the sports teams. I was picked last. In fact, I was cut from every single team I ever tried out for. It all culminated for me when 4 hockey bullies broke my collarbone. I was scared. I was alone. I didn't know what else to do. And so I turned to the wrestling team. The wrestling team didn't have cuts. And I figured I had to know how to defend myself. I had to get fit. I had to get stronger. I had to get bigger. My first year, I lost every single match. My second year, I won 1 match out of 40 total matches. To this day, it's still the greatest moment of my life, that feeling of having my hand raised in the air. And then from there, I started to win more. As I won more, confidence increased. And then a bunch of things happened. I ended up a really high-level collegiate wrestler. I fought in the UFC. I've trained almost every tier 1 asset in the United States military. So I did a bunch of things. And people have this idea about me that I'm motivated every single day. That the secret to working out 2 to 3 times a day for 30 years is that I must have some bottomless well of motivation. But I'm not any different than you. There are days I wake up that I don't want to do this. There are days I don't want to train. There are days I don't want to be healthy. I'd rather just, lay on a couch and eat Doritos and watch, TV all day. There are days I don't want to go to Brazilian jiu-jitsu practice. So it's impossible to be motivated day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. It's honestly, it's not going to happen. That feeling, that excitement, like I said, you're going to have days you don't want to do the thing. But discipline, on the other hand, discipline is always there for you. Discipline is showing up when you don't want to show up. Discipline is keeping the promises that you made to yourself. And if you can be disciplined, if you can keep the promises you made to yourself, you will achieve your goals 100%. When you see these successful people that you aspire to be, when you see these people who are living the life that you want to live, do you realize the only difference between you and them is that you quit and they just kept going? The days that they didn't want to get out of bed, they got out of bed. The days they didn't want to go to work, they went to work. The days they didn't want to train, they trained. The days they didn't want to put effort in, they still put effort in. That's what discipline is, and discipline leads to success. Got a comment, Warrior Wisdom. You've been here before, so thank you for the support. Hello, Bobby. I hope you're doing great. You are very inspiring. I really, really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. My goal, by coming on this platform is to just hopefully give you some tools to live a better life. I've, been lucky enough, like I talked about my background being bullied and all that stuff, but I'm from a small town in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have a trust fund. I wasn't handed the keys to the kingdom with great genetics. I just managed through discipline. And that's why we're talking about discipline today, but to end up living a dream life. And I've had the opportunity to do all kinds of incredible things. And if I can help you, if in some way you can get something from this live that can make your world a better place, and I've done my job, even if one single person watching this improves their life, then it means that doing this today, it was 100% worthwhile. So let's talk a little bit about how discipline is going to relate to your life. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about relationships, and we're going to talk about fitness, because I really believe, and here's another thing that my platform is built on, and I've seen it with the thousands of people I've trained. Fitness is your ticket to a better life, not just looking better, not just six-pack abs, not just loving what you see when you look in the mirror from the outside standpoint. It will literally make your life better in every single aspect of your life. You'll get a better job. You'll be more successful. You'll make more money. You'll have a better relationship. You'll have a better relationship with your kids or with your parents. Like whatever you're aiming to do, fitness is at the core of all that, and it will help you improve all of that. Warrior Wisdom, I'm slowly developing discipline myself thanks to people like you who actually give real advice. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. And here's the deal. I only want to give real advice. Like there's a lot of people out there who are fraudulent, frankly. They tell you all kinds of stuff that's just not true and they don't practice what they preach. Everything you see with me is 100% on the level, and I 100% practice what I preach, and it's stuff I really believe in. I might not be the best in the world at everything, but for being 45 years old, never using a PED, never using TRT, never cheating, never taking a shortcut. Like I know the way to do it. And I do live a real life. I've got a wife, I've got kids, I've got all that stuff going on. So here's the deal. Let's talk about discipline and how it relates to you. Discipline, the way I'd put it is, and I said it earlier, it's doing what you need to do even when you don't want to. It's getting up off the couch when you just rather sit there. It's showing up when you don't want to show up. It's trying when you don't want to try. But really how discipline is manifested in real life, it's keeping the promises that you made to yourself. And it looks like we just had a super come in from Miguel De Silva, longtime follower. Really, really appreciate your support. Listen, here's the deal, and it's a little bit of like a side note, but I couldn't do this without people like Miguel. When you give me supers, it allows me to go live longer and more often. So get those supers in. Hit the subscribe button. I don't know where it is on the screen. I'm pointing like I know, but hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and get those supers in because they do really, really help me create. Support your favorite creators. So Warrior Wisdom's got a question too. And by the way, on these lives, anytime you want to pop in and ask me questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. That's why I'm here. I have a wealth of knowledge that I want to share with you. Miguel can attest to this in the comments. He's benefited from a bunch of my knowledge. So Warrior Wisdom, I know about 100 people who tell information and call it advice, but only around 5 people who will give true advice. And those have actually helped me. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Like I said, I try to keep it real all the time. I try to give you guys stuff that you can actually use. So here's the deal. Discipline, because I want to get back to this. It's really important. What does discipline look like on a daily basis? It's keeping the promises you made to yourself. It's that simple. Discipline is keeping the promises that you made to yourself. I want you to really keep that in mind. And what's the first promise people usually break to themselves? I'll give you a hint. It's the alarm clock. When you go to bed tonight and you set an alarm clock saying that you're going to be up at 6 a.m., you're going to be up at 6:30 a.m., you're going to be up at 5:30 a.m., like whatever time you wake up, you're going to wake up and you're going to go work out. You're going to wake up and you're going to go for a run. You're going to wake up and you're going to do some extra reading. You're going to wake up and do something that's important to you. The minute you push snooze on that alarm clock, I'm old, so I push it like an alarm clock button. But the minute you push snooze on this, you've broken a promise to yourself. Do you think starting your day with a broken promise is the way you're going to be successful? Do you think starting your day by lying to yourself, by giving up on yourself, by putting yourself into second place, do you think that's really going to be successful, or that's a way to be successful? Absolutely not. So I don't set an alarm unless I'm 100% committed to waking up to that alarm, because I'm not going to start my day with a broken promise. I'm not going to start my day by saying I'm going to work out and then not work out and skip it. The more promises you keep to yourself, the easier this discipline thing becomes. You know, for me, like people marvel at the fact that I've worked out 2 to 3 times a day for 30 straight years. It's because, frankly, it's easier to keep going than to stop. It's just become a part of my lifestyle. It's easier to become disciplined. But if you take one day off turns into 2. 2 days off turns into 3. 3 days off turns into 4. 4 days off turns into 5. And that's with working out. It's easier just to show up. One of the things that I actually recommend is every Sunday night. And here's a pro tip. So you probably want to write this down or take some notes. Every Sunday night, take out your whatever you use. A lot of people use this. Some people actually use like a real diary, like something they write in, or your Google Calendar. But block off times that you're going to train. Make an appointment with yourself. Make an appointment with yourself like you'd make an appointment with the dentist or the doctor or for a hot date. And so maybe what you do is you set your workout time from 5 to 6 a.m. Maybe it's noon to 1 p.m. And all you have to do is have the discipline to show up. So even if you don't want to train that day, just show up. I actually taught a guy in a seminar. It's a great story. What he used to do is after work, he would book himself a 4 to 5 o'clock gym time. And he didn't always want to train. There was days he did not want to train, but he had the discipline to at least keep the appointment. And so what he would do, he would go down to the Global Gym, like the 24/7 Fitness, and he would sit there. So if he had that appointment at 4 o'clock, even if he didn't feel like training, he would show up at 4 o'clock. He'd sit in the lobby. That's it. He had the discipline to show up for himself, even if he didn't train. And he's had a funny thing happen. When he would show up, even if he didn't want to train, he was there anyway. And within 10 minutes of sitting there, he would always make his way back to the gym and do something. And that was the real secret to him getting fit. It was the secret to him losing 50 pounds. It was the secret to him saving his marriage. It was the secret to him being more successful in all areas of life. Like literally all he did was he had the discipline to just keep that promise. So a pro tip is every Sunday night, make your appointments with yourself. Write down Monday through the following Sunday when you're going to do exercise and then just show up. And if you don't want to do anything, have the discipline to at least show up and sit there, because chances are you won't just sit there. Chances are you will do something. Now that's related to working out. Food's the same way. I don't believe in having cheat days. The reason I don't like cheat days is because 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 3, 3 turns into 4. It's about discipline. Once you make one bad choice, it's easier to make another bad choice and another bad choice and another bad choice. When you make good choices, it's easier to keep making good choices. And when you promise yourself that you're going to eat healthy, when you promise yourself that you're going to do the right thing, and then you betray that promise, and you've been there, I know you have. You have feelings of guilt, feelings of shame. You know, I often say, like, what's worse, the bag of Doritos that you eat or the Coca-Cola that you drank or the cheating on your diet or the 2 days of guilt and all the cortisol that come with it? Like really all it's about is keeping that promise to yourself and do whatever you can to hold yourself to that. You know, if I'm really honest with you, one of my favorite treats are those Swedish Fish gummy candies. Like if they're around, I'm going to eat them. And it's really hard for me to maintain, like, and I'm being real with you. If there's a bowl of those in front of me, it's really hard to maintain that discipline. It's really hard for me to stop myself from eating them. So where does discipline win for me? I don't have them in the house. When the kids get them from Halloween, I throw them away right away. They're right in the garbage. I don't have to have the discipline to stop myself from eating them. I just have to have the discipline to not have them around. So discipline comes in many forms because I don't want to break that promise to myself. Because when I break that promise to myself, it affects every other area of my life. Another area of discipline with diet, my shakes. And what I want to talk about this is how discipline's not that hard. So this shake right here, and this is just my real life. It's coffee, it's raw milk, it's a low temperature processed protein that I get. It's super high end, and a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of Madagascar vanilla, a little bit of salt. And you can hear it. It's all over ice, right? This is Starbucks ain't got nothing on this. This is the most delicious drink you will ever drink. But you notice I'm doing this during my YouTube live. And why do I have this? And why am I showing you this? Because I've got a protein goal to hit. If I want to be fit, especially at 45 years old, and Men's Health named me one of the 100 fittest men of all time, and I take that title very seriously. But if I want to continue to maintain that high level of fitness, I need to eat a gram of protein per pound of body weight a day. And when you're 240 pounds, it's not easy to get that much protein in. And if you get behind, you will never make it up. And so I've got to have these shakes throughout the day. And how do I stay disciplined? I wake up, I make 3 of these, I put them in the fridge so they are good to go so that I can hit my protein goals. And that's just a small way I stay disciplined. You all ask me, what's that superfood that you eat? What's the secret workout? What's the hardest workout you've ever done? I want to get it through your head. That's why I'm fit. I'm not fit because of a superfood. I'm not fit because of some secret workout. I'm not successful because of some magic that I know that you don't. It's literally, I just have the discipline to wake up and make 3 of these and then drink them throughout the day. Like, it's really that simple. It's funny we're talking about YouTube. I was looking at, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to make this my primary source of income. I want to have 1 million followers. I want to, really, really have a big platform so I can help all kinds of people. And on that note, you need to subscribe, click your notifications, tell your friends, get your supers in, because the more people that are here, the more people I can help. The algorithm likes when people make comments. The algorithm likes when people like the broadcast. The algorithm likes when people subscribe and people follow. Anyway, I was trying to get big on YouTube and I was stuck, right? Like it was, I was doing 1 YouTube a week and it wasn't happening. I wasn't doing shorts. Sometimes I go a month without posting a YouTube, and I was kind of down in the dumps about it. And then I watched a Mr. Beast video. He talked about consistency. He said, you have no business worrying about everything until you can post for 100 straight days, like basically 100 videos. And along the way, just try to do something better every single time. So maybe you sit here, maybe you get a mic, maybe you get a better camera, maybe you try different topics, but like just keep going. And what it really boiled down to is having the discipline to just post every day. So if you're watching this and you're like, I want a YouTube platform, just start going live every day. Just start posting a short every day. Just start making content every day. It doesn't even matter how good it is. Just cover off the basic, the foundation of just holding yourself to a schedule and keeping a commitment. Like, it's literally that simple. Your job, how do you get good at work? You show up every day. You show up when you're sick. You show up, you're tired. Like, we all look at Amazon like it's this giant company and the life that Jeff Bezos lives and the trips and the blah, 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 blah. When Amazon was a bookstore, when it started, we're talking like early 2000s, right? How many weekends do you think Jeff Bezos took off? 0. Like, that's what discipline looks like. And that's why discipline is important. You've got to show up just day after day after day and keeping that promise to yourself. So if you could do that again at work, if you could do it in fitness, if you could do it with diet, like, great things will happen. And if you're watching this and you're wondering, like, how can this really work for me? If you were to show up and exercise every day, I'm not even talking working out, just exercise every day. Let's say for 90 days, you were to just show up every day. You were to eat healthy every single day. You were to try and get more sleep every single day. It wouldn't matter what magic workout you did, what superfood you ate, what secret you knew. In 90 days, you would make a remarkable transformation. Like, you would change yourself for the better. And that's just a fact. We got a question here. Hi, Bobby, trying to decide between whey protein and collagen peptides. I would go with whey. If it's a versus thing, collagen's an incomplete protein. Whey is a 100% complete protein. So if it's I would go with whey protein for sure. That said, I take a blend of both because I think there's things in collagen that we as humans don't get anymore. We don't eat a lot of bone marrow. We don't eat chicken feet. Like, we don't eat the entire part of the animal. So I think we lack in collagen protein. And I think it can help our hair, our skin, our nails. So, I mean, I would certainly look, Michael, at a blend of both. But if it was if it was like an or situation, I would go with whey. But back to the 90-day thing. If you just for 90 days, if you just exercised every day, ate healthy, and tried to get a little more sleep, your life would completely 100% change. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Now, what if we talked about work? If you showed up for work every day for 90 days and you just tried harder, you just tried to do something to better yourself. You put a little bit more effort into a presentation, you put a little bit more effort into an email, you would have a much better work life. What about your relationship? What about for 90 days if you wrote your girlfriend or boyfriend, if you wrote them a letter, if you wrote your husband or wife just a note, just telling them how much you appreciate them? What if every day you kept a book up for 90 days and just wrote one thing you appreciated about your partner, and then in 90 days you gave that to them? Imagine how much that would affect your relationship in a positive way. And again, all these things, you're not doing something crazy. You're not investing a lot of money. You're not investing a ton of time. You don't, again, you don't have some secret. You're literally just doing the thing day after day after day after day. And if you can do that for 90 days, you'll get better. I want to leave you with something because I was reading it the other day. Do you know if you practice something for 18 minutes a day for 1 year, you would be better than 95% of people on the planet? It was a stat I was reading last night. So if you had never played piano before and you practice piano for 18 minutes a day for an entire year, you'd be better than 95% of people on the planet. If you just exercised for 18 minutes a day for a year, you'd be better than 95% of people on the planet. Guitar, analyzing football games. Like it doesn't matter. If you put 18 minutes a day into YouTube, you'd be better than 95% of people on the planet. And that's literally what discipline is. And that's what I want to leave you with, that ability to show up day after day after day after day after day. It's not a secret. It's not a hack. It's not 3 easy payments of $9.99. It's not a shortcut or a magic pill. It's just literally showing up for yourself day after day after day and making that promise to yourself. So whoever you are, wherever you are, hopefully you find that discipline in your everyday life. Stop looking for the big ticket items. Stop looking for the shortcut. Just keep the promises that you make to yourself every single day. And let's start with 90 days. Let's start there. Do that for 90 days and watch how much you change. You'll learn the value of discipline. Thank you guys for coming. I love you all. Remember, subscribe, notify, get those supers in. I say notify, get your notifications turned on so you know when I go live. I will be going live every Monday at noon Mountain Standard Time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast. And I'll see you for the next one.